Hi folks, I hope this finds you well. Welcome to the second video by me, the Foodie Fifer. In this one, we are taking a closer look at the Asda Italian-inspired range. This time, it's their spaghetti and meatballs. Will it be a case of delizioso or non bene? So what do we have? Well, according to Asda, we have spaghetti, their wonderfully hearty tomato sauce, spooned over succulent pork and beef meatballs. The meal serves one. Let's take a slightly closer look at some of the nutritional information. The pack weighs 400 grams. When microwaved, it contains 404 calories, 14 grams of fat, 3.7 grams of saturates, 8.2 grams of sugars, and 2 grams of salt. In relation to daily reference intake, there's one red high warning, that's for salt at 33%. Perhaps not a complete surprise given the type of meal. We can also see the meal's freezable, and it's made with British beef and pork. To give you an idea as to the actual size of the meal, here are some pictures. Obviously I'm not going to use a tape measure, that would be silly, so I've included my ASF for perspective. ASF, you ask? Average size fork, of course. The main ingredients are tomatoes, the spaghetti, and the beef and pork meatballs, themselves comprising 32% beef and 38% pork. We also have onions, herbs, garlic puree, and various other ingredients that you can read at your leisure. The meal can be stored in the fridge or in the freezer. If freezing, defrost thoroughly before heating and consume on the day of defrost. The meal is packed in the UK with pork and beef from the UK. If you look below the 400 grams, you'll see the letters GB followed by FE007. This is simply the packager's code and relates to the company responsible for packaging the meal. To heat the meal, we have two options. We can microwave 5.5 minutes in a 700 watt, 4 minutes in a 900 watt. Alternatively, we can oven heat 25 minutes in a fan-assisted oven set at 170 degrees C. I'll be opting to microwave the meal simply because my stomach says 4 minutes is preferable to 25. As you watch while I tuck in, here are my thoughts on Asda's Italian-inspired spaghetti and meatballs. Going through the main ingredients, firstly the meatballs themselves. There are 7, and they are a decent size based on the overall size of the meal. In addition to the beef and pork, there are herbs in the mix, adding to the flavour. I found the meatballs to be reasonably succulent and not too dry. Obviously this is helped to a degree when stirring through the sauce after cooking. On to the spaghetti. Not too much to say here. It had a nice consistency and wasn't too soft or hard. Maybe not perfectly al dente, but not a million miles away either. And again, based on the overall size of the meal, there was plenty of it. As for the tomato sauce, Asda describe it as being wonderfully hearty, and to be fair, it does a reasonable enough job of holding this meal together. The key ingredients are all present: tomatoes of course, garlic, salt and pepper, and herbs. It appears as though rapeseed oil has been used rather than the more conventional olive oil. When it comes to the nutritional side of things, it's perhaps no great surprise there's a red warning for salt. However, given what this meal is, there's nothing ridiculously high across calories, saturates and so on. I chose to microwave the meal rather than oven cook. Time often wins out for me, 4 minutes versus 25, no contest. Having said that, oven cooking might result in a different taste and texture experience, so I might revisit this one at a later date and try the oven cooking. On to the all-important value for money. I paid £3 for this meal, and for me that represents reasonably good value for money, especially in the current climate. Overall, the Foodie Fifer gives this one 4 out of 5. It might even have got 4.5 out of 5 if there was one extra meatball and a slightly richer sauce. Let me know in the comments what you think of the meal. Have you tried it before? If yes, did you microwave or oven cook? Did you think the meal was tasty? Would you buy it again? If you've not had this meal before, are you tempted to? That brings my second video to an end. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. As I said in my first video, I still have a way to go to improve a number of things. As I also said, I sincerely hope you stick with me on the journey. Although it's early days, if you think you're going to enjoy my content, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. It's free and would help build the community. For now, the Foodie Fifer says goodbye and take care.